ScouterStan. Let's talk a little bit about Scout communications. This is one of those critical skills that young people and the adult leaders need to really focus on. Within Scouting, it's important to get our message across. This helps a team effort to focus on the task at hand. This can also be a critical skill when communicating for safety. Communications is critical to all levels of leadership. Not having the skills to communicate well can affect and impact the success of the overall activities and can completely change the experience that the scout has within the unit. Being clear and concise when communicating. Avoid at all costs any kind of jargon or abbreviations, especially when you're explaining tasks or giving instructions. Avoid using those technical terms like SPL and ASPL, SM, and, just avoid those. Just say Senior Patrol Leader, Assistant Senior Patrol Leader, Scoutmaster. You don't need those acronyms. Now, later on, if you're in a very focused group and they use those acronyms, that's fine. But at the beginning, a lot of scouts will be completely turned off if they don't know what's going on. Now, I did a podcast on avoiding those acronyms, so you might want to look back through the catalog and find that. It's really important for communications. Getting to the point when you communicate, especially in situations where time is limited, like during a campout or an activity or emergency, make sure that your message is direct and to the point. Avoid unnecessary details that might be considered extraneous and additional, and that can distract the listener. Whenever possible, use bullet points when communicating in writing, such as in an email or something of that nature. Using those points or even numbered lists helps the listener organize information clearly. This makes it easier for the others to follow along and understand what is going on. Using positive language that helps encourage and support the scout. Using language that is encouraging and supportive is critical to the message. It helps motivate and builds that confidence among scouts. For example, instead of saying, "Don't forget to bring your gear," say, "Remember to bring your gear." Focus on the solution instead of the issue. When addressing challenges or mistakes, focus on what can be done to improve the situation, rather than dwelling on the problem. For example, next time, let's try doing it this way instead of, "You did it wrong." Always be aware of nonverbal cues. Body language is important. Ensure that your body language aligns with your words. An open and relaxed posture is critical. Eye contact and nodding can reinforce your message and show that you are engaged. The tone of voice. Yeah, your tone of voice can convey enthusiasm, urgency, or concerns. Be mindful of your tone to ensure it is matching the message you want to convey. Facial expressions are important. Use appropriate facial expressions to express empathy, interest, or understanding. A smile can go a long way in making communications more effective. Remember to always check for understanding. Ask questions. After giving instructions or sharing information, ask questions to ensure that everyone understands. For example, does anyone have any questions about what we are doing? Or can someone repeat the instructions back to me? Make sure that you invite feedback. Encourage scouts and scouters to share their thoughts and ask for clarifications. If someone isn't clear, this can create an environment where open communications is valued. We constantly say at Woodbadge that feedback is a gift, and it really is. The mark of a good communicator is one who can adapt to your audience. Always consider the age and experience of who you are communicating with. Whenever possible, try to tailor your communication style to the age and experience level of your audience. Younger scouts, Cub Scouts, first-year scouts may need simpler language and more visual aids than you will have with older scouts and scouters who might appreciate a more detailed explanation. Always keep in mind the cultural sensitivity and be mindful of cultural differences in communication styles. Make sure that your language and gestures are respectful and inclusive to everyone in the group. Never underestimate the quality of visual aids. A demonstration is critical. Whenever possible, show rather than tell. Now, in a podcast, this is something that I'm challenged with quite a bit. I have to think of the listener. I really can't show you anything. It's all words and audio. So go into intense descriptions are needed to really convey messages. But if you're in front of a group and you need to demonstrate how to pitch a tent or tie a knot, for example, can be much more effective if simply explaining it and showing how it is done. For complex information, the use of charts and diagrams and handouts to help visual learners grasp the concept more easily. Now, next time when we meet, I'm going to have part 2 of communications, and we're going to go into some of the active listening and how to practice that. Be open to feedback, which we touched on in this episode. Timing is always key in communication. How to follow up in your communications and tools that are used in scouting for communications, especially for different age groups. So I really thank you for all that you do in scouting, and listening in on this podcast will help you fine-tune your communication style and be aware of everything that's going on when instructions are given and when there's different speeches given in scouting. I'm really thankful for all your time that you spend in scouting in improving your skills. Thank you so much for all you do, and I will see you on the trail.